Thank you everyone for joining us for this live chat on the Deferred Action for Early Childhood Arrivals DACA program and the recent Texas decision. My name is Angelita Chavez. I'm an immigration attorney and partner with Chugh LLP based out of the Kennewick, Washington branch office. During our chat today, please feel free to submit your questions. However, please note that during the discussion today is purely informational and does not constitute legal advice. During our chat today, we will cover a review of the DACA program, the qualifications and benefits, as well as some DACA history, as well as the current Texas decision and the implications for current DACA holders and those that have submitted first-time DACA applications. So what is DACA? For those that are not familiar with the program, DACA is a 2012 executive action that granted deferral or removal from the United States for 2 years, employment authorization, as well as a possibility of travel through advanced parole. And this was only for a select group of people whose criteria we will discuss in brief. What DACA is not. It's important to know that DACA is not lawful immigration status, and it isn't, and it's an entirely administrative policy that's really subject to change and termination, as we have seen. DACA does not provide a pathway to permanent residency nor citizenship. Lastly, DACA is not able to provide any benefit for anyone else other than the DACA recipient. DACA applicants must meet several requirements to qualify for the program. One of them is to be under age 31 years of age as of June 15, 2012. They must have also come into the US prior to their 16th birthday, and there's some physical residency requirements as well. One of them is to have been physically present in the United States on June 15, 2012, which was the date of the memo, and have resided continuously at least 5 years prior from June 15, 2007. They also must not have had any lawful status as of June 15, 2012, and have either graduated from high school or obtained a GED or are currently in school. Lastly, DACA applicants cannot have any felonies, significant misdemeanors, or 3 or more misdemeanors, and must not be a threat to national security or public safety. So how did DACA come about? Well, as we mentioned earlier, DACA came about through executive action by Obama in 2012 to grant the benefits that we previously described. Several cases and policy memos were issued since then that have led to today's most recent decision on DACA. Here is a short timeline. In September 2017, the DACA memo was issued that rescinded the DACA program. After that, there were some lawsuits that were filed in order to prevent the DACA program from being rescinded. Then on January 2018, there were some injunctions that were issued to continue process DACA renewals. Then on June 2020, the Supreme Court issued its decision on DACA, and shortly thereafter, another memo, the Wolf memo, was issued, which was a second attempt to actually end the DACA program. On December 4th, 2020, there was a court order to reopen the DACA program under its 2012 terms via the Batalla Vidal case. This case was the first time the DACA applicants could now submit applications that were first-time DACA applicants. The Batalla decision applied nationwide, but unfortunately, it was not the end to the DACA challenges. And that leads us to today's topic of conversation, which was the recently issued July 16th decision on DACA. So essentially, here's a short overview. For the Texas decision, a Texas federal judge, Andrew Hannon, ruled that the DACA program and its implementations actually violated the Administrative Procedures Act. And because of that, the DACA program could not go on as it was before. On July 17th, just a day after the decision, the White House did announce that the government would appeal this decision. And then also USCIS has stated that it will likely publish a notice of proposed rulemaking in order to strengthen DACA. But the implications of this decision are still felt. What this decision essentially means is that no initial first-time DACA applications will be approved by USCIS as of July 16th, 2021. Initial DACA applications that were filed prior to July 16, 2021 will be placed on hold. And any first-time DACA applications and employment authorizations are going to be accepted by USCIS, but they will not be processed by USCIS and they will not be approved by USCIS after this decision. It is important to note that there are over 600,000 DACA recipients currently that will not be impacted by this Texas decision. Current DACA holders can continue to apply for DACA extensions and employment authorizations, as well as maintain their current DACA status. There are some unknowns because of this decision, and we're still waiting on USCIS guidance pending this decision. So it is unclear, for example, whether folks in the past that have let their DACA lapse will now be able to reapply as they were in the past. So in the past, when you had DACA and you let it lapse and the lapse of the DACA was more than a year, you could actually reapply for DACA essentially as a first-time DACA applicant, but it would still be accepted even under the previous case decisions, and USCIS would process those DACAs. Now we don't know whether that's going to be the case. We're unsure. We're still waiting on USCIS guidance regarding that. We also don't know if there's any risks regarding advanced parole and international travel. In the past, DACA recipients that had obtained advanced parole to travel internationally, let's say for a family emergency or for educational purposes or for employment purposes, those folks were able to return to the United States. Right now, we don't know if there would be any risks based on the new decision for these holders of advanced parole under DACA. Now, we also know that when you apply for DACA, you get issued a notice to do your fingerprints and have biometrics taken by USCIS. Since the Texas decision, we don't know if these biometrics are still going to continue for first-time applicants, but we have heard from other attorneys, other immigration attorneys, that these biometrics appointments for first-time DACA applicants are actually being canceled. We also don't know what's going to happen if a person's DACA status expires while renewal applications are pending. We are waiting on any guidance from USCIS, regarding these types of situations. So this leads us to the conclusion of the chat. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them into the chat and we would be happy to answer those questions that anybody may have regarding DACA, what this decision means. Again, as I mentioned, there are just a lot of unknowns and we're still waiting. This is a really, fresh, brand new decision just, last week. And so we're still unsure about a lot of things regarding folks that have lapsed DACA or have let it expire for a long time, and whether folks are going to be able to return safely back from international travel under advanced parole. So there are still a lot of unknowns for those kinds of folks. But at least for those that have DACA currently, those individuals will be able to renew them. They will be able to renew their employment authorization and still maintain DACA status. There is one issue that we have recently seen with the COVID and the USCIS shutdowns regarding DACA and actually many benefits before immigration. A lot of cases are being delayed. There's a lot of decisions that are being delayed, adjudication of these applications, whether it's naturalization or green card applications, or even just employment authorization documents. These have experienced significant delays with USCIS. So we don't know what would happen once someone's DACA has expired, but they timely filed for an extension of their DACA and are still waiting for their employment authorization, whether USCIS will do anything about that while the person's extension is pending, and whether they will continue to extend the employment authorization for those individuals. So if there are no questions, I don't see any questions in the chat. Just want to thank everybody so much for watching this informational on DACA and what's going on with the DACA program. If there are any further questions, or if anyone missed the information regarding this chat, they're welcome to send emails either directly to myself, angelita.chavez@chugh.com, or info@chugh.com. You can also stay tuned to our weekly chats. We do this every single week on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have different topics on critical insights that can help you and your businesses thrive. Be also sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and get notified about our live events once they begin. You can also visit our website for more information www.chugh.com for more information about our events. Thank you.